So, Amy's collection of poetry, right?
Beautiful.
And what better way to talk about a revolution than to talk to one of my very favorite sisters. So, welcome, Ronna.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Yeah,
Live in
We're
person.
going to talk about Amy. So,
Yes.
Cheers, Amy. Yay. I have selected. I'm not actually going to say this is my very, very, very favorite poem because I sort of felt
to pick.
I pick. But I thought this one would be a lot of fun to talk about. Ready?
I am.
Now, I wish I could totally pull off Amy's brogue. I can't.
That would be nice.
I'll end up sounding a little more like patois or Jamaican or something, so we'll not do that. But I will just speak from the heart because this is just so beautiful. This is called Latent. The veil of ambivalence settles close to the skin when desire lies latent, tamped down by stories of excess and extravagance. Oh, she's too much, we say, all the while denying ourselves the permission we seek to want what we want, without shame, without fear, without. Where does this take you?
Well, every poem in the book takes me someplace deep and different because they're all so beautifully written and so perfectly poignant, right? They just speak directly to what it is that I think we both struggle with, desire, and long for. And this one in particular, I just think that Amy so beautifully names how hard it is for us to actually acknowledge our own desire, but at the same time, the desire that we have to do so, and how critical that is for us to just speak from this place of truth and extravagance, to use her words, and to get over the part of us that thinks that we're too much and do it anyway. And I struggle with that, right? Like all the time. That's a huge issue for me. So,
yeah, it's the it's the too much. It's the there's the judgment that we have about our desires. So then we bring in these qualities, these qualifiers. It's okay to desire as long as, and it's this freedom that I'm really sensing in this poem. What would it be like to desire without fear, without shame, without qualifiers? And that is such a, for me and for you and for so many of us, it's this, I can want something as long as it is in service of X, Y, or Z.
Well, don't you think it's also this aspect of it's okay for me to desire as long as I don't hurt you, as long as my desire doesn't somehow harm or inflict any kind of pain. And there's the pain point, I think, for many of us, because for us to step into a place of full desire, full expression, full life, others will be impacted by that. There's risk and consequences, which is why we shut down, which is why we hold back, because we have learned to manage and tone down on behalf of others at our own expense. And I think Amy calls us to cut that shit out. And
as she does.
Not do that.
Yeah. It's also, it also brings me to a place of, it's not, it's the naming our desires, and it's and the flip is also the naming of our fears, which is so, so prevalent throughout the entire collection. But it's this, can you be with my joy? Can you be with my desires? Can you be with my fears? Can you be with me? Can you be with me? What is the impact? So this is what I just love about this entire collection. It actually is, actually it doesn't really matter. Because I gotta go hear myself. I've got to figure this out. I've got to visit these places that have been painful, and I'm terrified that you will see the scabby places. I'm terrified that you will see my desires and you will see my joys.
And that's the beauty of the collection, I think, is that Amy expresses those for herself and lets us see that in the midst of her own fear of letting us see it, right? Like she's walking the talk right there in the collection of the poetry itself, which is just, I think it's a hard balance that we all try to walk, right? How do I express my own story and offer you something, knowing that my own writing or speaking on your behalf is really for me. Like it's this circular process. And I just think Amy's done that in such a profound and beautiful way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Always does, but this
Always
particular
does.
collection, gorgeous.
So I have to ask you, so if you had the permission,
Mm-hmm.
what'd you do? To want what you want without shame, without fear, without, what would that be?
What would the thing be, or who would I be? When I think about this for myself and I get glimmers or glimpses of who I would be if I could actually step into this person that I know is in there, I can feel my shoulders go back. Like I can feel myself get even taller. I can picture myself sort of gliding through my world. Like there's this sense of elegance and regalness and don't mess with me. Like I know what I'm here to do. And I can feel that inside me, and yet I can also feel the part of me that stops, right? That doesn't step forward into that or doesn't know how to exactly do that. And I think reading Amy's poetry, all of them, that's what I watch her do in there. And I'm like, hey, I want to do that, right? So more of me without holding back, I think.
Without the veil of ambivalence.
Indeed. And you?
Ditto.
Not fair.
Who would I be? I would have the lived experience of wanting deeply and profoundly and unabashedly on my behalf, on your behalf, and I actually get to live in that place, like really live in that place and not apologize or just say, that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to want. I'm here to express that desire. And you know what it is? It's just more. And just wanting more without shame, without fear, without.
No more latency.
Yes.
May it be so.
May it be so. Thank you, Amy.
Yes.
Thank you, watchers, listeners, readers. Thank you. And I would love for you to sit with the question, who would you be, rather than what would you want? Because I think that's probably better. Who would you be if you could want what you want without fear, without shame, without